Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about something that is important to all of us, the sexual self. I'm sure many of us have questions about our sexuality and want to learn more. Today, our group will discuss about oneself, especially our body's capabilities and limitations. We are excited to share this journey with all of you and hope you find it as rewarding and enlightening as we do. Sexual self. Sexual self concept encompasses one's entire sexual identity, including positive and negative feelings. It is influenced by three aspects: sexual self-esteem, sexual despair, and sexual fixation. Individuality, based on one's sexual identity and gender orientation, shapes beliefs and behavioral habits. So, sa sexual self-esteem, ito yung nagre-refer to how individuals feel about their own sexuality and their confidence and satisfaction in their sexual experiences. Sa sexual despair, ito naman is kung sino yung nakakaranas ng hindi pagkasaya o kaya naman pagkabigo about sa sexual experiences nila. And nangyayari yon kapag hindi sila satisfied sa kanilang sexual relationship o sa mga encounters nila about doon. And nagkukos ito ng emotional distress tsaka frustration sa mga taong nakakaranas nun. Sa sexual fixation, ito yung nire-refer nila to a strong and persistent attraction or obsession towards specific objects, body parts, or fantasies that play a central role in an individual's sexual desires or fantasies. Sa madaling salita, ito yung mga fetish. Development of primary and secondary sexual characteristics. During sexual maturation or puberty growth spurt involves the development of primary and secondary sexual characteristics, highlighting the significant physical changes that occur during the transition from childhood to adulthood. Primary sexual characteristics refer to the physical characteristics directly involved in reproduction, such as sex organs. These organs undergo significant growth and development during puberty, forming the basis of primary sexual characteristics. In mammals, sex is determined through hormonal events in utero, controlled by the combination of X and Y chromosomes. For examples, if an egg is fertilized with a sperm carrying the X chromosome, the gonad should develop into ovaries, while males will develop into testes. For the male sex organs include the scrotum, testes, epididymis, vas deferens, prostate, seminal vesicles, urethra, and penis. Testes located in scrotum are only 10% mature at 14 years old. And yung growth nila is slow down after a year or two. And yung testes ay magiging develop na kapag 21 ka na or 22. The penis grows rapidly after the testes, initially in length and gradually increasing in circumference. Nocturnal emissions or wet dreams or spontaneous orgasms during sleep occur when male reproductive organs are developed, such as when boys have a sexually exciting dream, have a full bladder, are constipated, wear tight undergarments, or are too warmly covered. For the female reproductive system includes various organs such as ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, and etc. During puberty, these organs grow rapidly. The first menstrual flow, menarche, is the first sign of sexual maturation in girls, involving regular discharges of blood, mucus, and broken down cell tissue every 28 days until menopause in the late 40s or early 50s. Secondary sexual characteristics, such as human breast, emerge at puberty to attract mates and provide care for offspring. These physical traits distinguish males from females and make one sex appealing to the opposite. Hormones secreted through the hypothalamus initiate these traits, which gradually develop and become sexually appealing. Yung sa hypothalamus, yung brain nagpo-produce ng hormones na kumukontrol sa body temperature, heart rate, hunger, and mood. Yung difference ng primary and secondary sexual characteristics is yung primary, yun yung meron ka simula inborn ka. like sa lalaki, penis, and sa babae naman, yung vagina. And sa secondary naman is yung mga pagbabago during puberty. Yan naman yung mga pagbabago sa katawan ng lalaki at babae. Yung sa babae, magbo-broad yung hips nila. And sa lalaki naman, magde-develop yung muscle nila, tsaka tatangkad at magbibigat na.
Moving on to the erogenous zones of the human body. The erogenous zone are places that trigger sexual arousal when touched. The sensitive areas are what leads to sexual stimulation or sexual excitement. It is important to know deeply about our body so we can easily feel our desires, without risking a more dangerous option all because of a lack of knowledge. Remember, our body is our responsibility as well. So here are the sensitive areas of a male and female body. For women, there are mouth or lips, ears, back of neck, nape of neck, nipples, breast, lower back, clitoris, vagina, and inner thighs. For men, they also have mouth or lips, ears, back of neck, nape of neck, nipples, and inner thighs as their sensitive areas, as well as their pubic hairline, penis, scrotum, and perineum. The most sensitive area for women would be their clitoris, or the inside of the vagina. As for men, it would be their penis. And for those who doesn't know what perineum is, or where is it located, it is the area between the anus and scrotum. As for the nipples, well, both male and female are sensitive to the touch when it comes to their nipples, but female nipples are more sensitive than males due to their hormones. Next, the inner thighs. Of course, with the right touch, the inner thighs would cause arousal to both men and women. Then our mouth or lips. Both men and women can get heated up by a kiss. Well, of course, not just a normal kiss, but there are different types of kisses, and some can be more intimate, which also causes an arousal. Many people, especially teenagers, are curious about what happens during sexual engagement. Of course, rather than trying it on your own, it would be better if you'd learn about the sexual response cycle. So, the sexual response cycle. There are 4 phases in the cycle, which are the reactions that happen during sexual engagement according to William Masters and Virginia Johnson. So, as you can see from the picture, these are the 4 phases: excitement, plateau, orgasm, and resolution. So, excitement causes the arousal. It is the heat that rises the person's arousal to pursue sex. This includes the increase of heart rate, blood pressure, and sensing of muscle. Next is the plateau. This phase intensifies the excitement and sets the stage for orgasm. Heart rate becomes quicker, blood pressure rises, and breathing becomes faster. And then the third phase is the orgasm. Orgasm is the climax of the sexual excitement by reaching the peak and releasing the tension where the muscles contract and perspiration is evident. Lastly, resolution. In the last phase, the muscles will calm down, returning to the normal state. The blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing will also begin to cool, leaving the person back to their unaroused state. Now, to put it simply, excitement is where the person's arousal rises. Plateau is the one that intensifies the excitement. And orgasm is the release of tension. Then resolution will leave the person back to their unaroused state because they already released the tension and reached their peak.
The chemistry of love, the science behind lust, attraction, and companionship. Ano nga ba ang love? Well, hindi naman na tayo bago sa ideya kung ano ang love. Remembering the first time we fell in love? Or our first crush? Well, for me, I may not recall all what happened before, but I know what love feels like. Until now in the present, it is still giving me a feeling of euphoria. Sa madaling salita, masaya at masarap sa pakiramdam. There's a lot of studies giving different definitions of what love is. Some of it says that love is a feeling, love is a decision, and love is a verb. But majority says that love is an emotion. According to Abigail Marsh, a professor of psychology, love is an emotion that is particular response to one person. You love being around that person. You take a lot of pleasure from being in their company, and you're very distressed when you're separated from them. Madalas natin ito nararamdaman kapag tayo ay nasa isang romantikong relasyon. At kung hindi naman, ay baka pwede rin natin ito maramdaman sa kaibigan. Kaibigan na ba talaga? Mabalik tayo. Ayon kay Helen Fisher, love is a biological drive and survival mechanism. And also, according to Helen Fisher, there are 3 phases of love. Starting from lust. Lust means driven by the desire of sexual satisfaction. Its evolutionary basis is our need to reproduce. It supports the idea of Helen Fisher with love being a survival mechanism. Because with lust, there is sex and there's reproduction. And with reproduction, it adds up to our population, meaning nakaka-survive ang mga species na katulad natin sa paraan na tayo ay nagpaparami. And just like us, animals also do it. They also reproduce, and importante ito upang hindi tayo umabot sa tinatawag na extinction. Mabalik tayo. In a deeper part of brain, we will find hypothalamus. It plays a role in lust. It produces sex hormones such as testosterone and estrogen. Testosterone ay para sa lalaki. Ito ay nanggagaling sa testes na nakapagpataas ng libido. Ang libido ay sexual drive. Ang estrogen ay para naman sa mga babae at gaya ng testosterone, it increases women's sexual motivation during their ovulation. Para sa mga hindi nakakaalam, especially sa mga lalaki, ang ovulation ay nangyayari 2 weeks before ng menstrual period o tinatawag ding dalaw. It is a phase of the female menstrual cycle that involves the release of an egg or ovule from one of the ovaries. Attraction. But this part focuses more on the concept of falling in love. But before we dig into that part, let us know what attraction means. Attraction is the power of eliciting feelings of desire, interest, or liking. Another definition of it is that attraction is the force that draws people together. When falling in love, this is romantic, passionate, and a genuine feeling that gives us joy or euphoric feeling. Kapag tayo in love or falling in love, madalas natin naranasan ang kawalang gana sa pagkain, or kahit sa anong bagay. Isa pa nito, inability to sleep, lack of concentration, and yung tinatawag nilang butterflies in the stomach. Now, these symptoms are caused by the brain chemicals called monobamines. May 4 na monobamines, starting with dopamine. Dopamine is produced by the hypothalamus, and is released when you do activities that make us satisfied. Examples of it are sex and masturbation. Now, moving forward, norepinephrine. This plays an important role to fight or flight situation. This is the chemical that is responsible to keep our body alert whenever we are stressed. Phenylethylamine. Now, this chemical is a natural amphetamine. It provides a sensation of being on top of the world that attraction can bring. It also provides the energy to stay up day and night when in love. It is also a neurotransmitter that is involved in passionate love, which gives people, like what I've said, stay up all night. And due to it, it affects our mood, making us feel energized. Last but not the least, serotonin. This hormone gives the overpowering infatuation, which is primarily responsible for regulating the behavior and mood in terms of love. Attachment, staying together. Now, this is the most important aspect for long-term relationships. While love and attraction are mostly associated with romantic relationships, attachment also mediates friendships, parent-to-infant bonding, social cordiality, and a variety of other intimate relationships. Now, under attachments, there are primary hormones associated with it. First is oxytocin. This is often nicknamed as cuddle hormone. It is produced by the hypothalamus and released in large quantities during sex. It peaks during orgasm, breastfeeding, and childbirth. All of these events are precursors to bonding. Next is vasopressin. This is also called as the monogamy chemical. Researchers have found out that suppression of vasopressin can cause male voles to neglect their partners and not fight off the other male voles who are trying to mate with their partners. Now, next is the endorphins. The endorphins are chemicals produced naturally by the nervous system to cope with pain or stress. These are often called the feel-good chemicals because they can act as pain reliever and a happiness booster. Diversity of sexual behavior. Gender and sexual diversity, or GSD, refers to diverse sex characteristics, sexual orientations, and gender identities, without specifying each identity, behavior, or characteristic. Now, sexual orientation. Heterosexuals are the people who are attracted of the opposite sex, commonly referred to as straight. Now, the people who are attracted to their own sex, gay or lesbian, these are the homosexuals. While for bisexuals, they are the people who are sexually attracted to both men and women. Gender identity. First is transgender, denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex. Second is cisgender, denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. Now, related minorities, intersex gathered under the acronyms LGBT or LGBTI, which is now LGBTIQA+. Now, this is the acronym that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, queer or questioning, asexual. Lastly is the Kinsey scale. This is the heterosexual homosexual rating scale. This is used as a research tool used to be describe a person's sexual orientation based on their experiences or responses. This scale, or the Kinsey scale, ranges from 0 to X, with an additional grade for no social sexual contracts or reactions. The Kinsey scale published in Sexual Behavior in the Human Male and Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. It was influential in sexual behavior research. And now, let's proceed to the next speaker, Joanna Alejo, who will discuss STI, or sexually transmitted infections.
So let us talk about understanding sexually transmitted infections, or STIs. STIs are infections that are passed from person to person through sexual contact. Halos karamihan naman siguro tayo ay alam nito, right? Many STIs can be asymptomatic, meaning wala silang mga sintomas, which makes regular testing and safe sexual practices crucial for prevention. Untreated STIs can lead to serious health complications, including infertility, cancer, and the spread of infections to sexual partners. They can affect both men and women and are caused by bacteria, viruses, or parasites. Common STIs include chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis or also known as tulo, herpes, HIV or AIDS, and HPV. Itong mga bacteria na ito, people, ay madali lang gamutin basta malaman kaagad sila ng mas maaga upang maagapan kaagad. So, kaya ito ng antibiotics lang. So, let's proceed to the next part. Family planning and contraceptions. Family planning is a process that allows individuals and couples to make informed decisions about the number, timing, and spacing of their children. Dito ay pagpaplano ng agwat ng pag-aanak o paglilimita sa laki ng pamilya. It involves choosing from various contraceptions methods to prevent or delay pregnancy until desired. One of the common contraceptive methods is condoms. For sure, halos lahat naman tayo dito ay alam ito, di ba? Ito ay upang maiwasan ang pagpasok ng similya sa matres ng babae and also provide protections against STIs. Choosing the right contraceptions methods depends on individual preference, health considerations, and lifestyles. It's essential to consult a healthcare provider to discuss options and ensure safe and effective family planning. So, dumako naman tayo sa next parts. Preventing pregnancy-related health risk in women. Family planning is crucial for women's health and well-being, allowing spacing of pregnancies. Dito naman yung nape-prevent yung unintended pregnancies, including those of older women who face increased risk related to pregnancy. So let us proceed to the summary. Puberty is the start of the development of secondary sex characteristics. Sexual response has 4 phases that starts from excited phase, then the play to phase to sexual climax, as well as resolution phase. That's all. Thank you for listening.